Hello again. I drew attention a few months ago to the fact that the Museum of London decided that when they move to a new site, their display on Roman London will centre around a supposed black African woman who lived in London 2,000 years ago, a black single mother, in fact. I pointed out that there's literally no evidence that a single black person lived in England during the Roman occupation, but that evidently hasn't discouraged a serious museum from promoting this nonsense. Anything if it means that they can get a black woman into their displays. Sadly, the Jorvik Centre in York, which features, it's built around the archaeological excavations of Viking York, they too have decided they wish to get in on this dubious and thoroughly dishonest act and want to show a black woman as a Viking. Once again, there is absolutely no evidence that there was ever a single black Viking, either in York or anywhere else in the world. But with the help of the Arts Council and the Jorvik Centre, a company has produced a drama about such a woman, which will use augmented reality to bring her to life. This imaginary being may be seen in the thumbnail to this video, and most shockingly of all, she is being introduced as part of half-term educational activities at the Jorvik Centre and shown to children who will not realise that this is actually political propaganda rather than history. Just as the series Bridgerton persuaded gullible folk that there were a lot of black people around in Regency England, this foolishness, by which I mean what's being done at the Jorvik Centre, had its origins in another fictional television series, the Amazon Viking Valhalla, which of course featured as a lead character a black Viking queen. Some attempt was made, both at that time and just beforehand, to show that there really had been black Vikings, but these all fell flat when examined critically. I give a link to a piece written in 2019 by an archaeologist about a possible black Viking. It seems that this is a case like the Beachy Head Lady, the famous black Roman who was identified by the shape of her head, but whose DNA proved that she was actually European. This article tells us of another case from Saxon Cemetery, which leaves little doubt and is incontestable. This is incontestably a black African. However, the author of the piece goes on to say that although we do need to be aware that this ancestry determination was made some time ago without details provided of how it was reached, probably another funny-shaped skull. What is slightly terrifying is that both the Arts Council and the Jorvik Centre have funded this enterprise. It's sheer fantasy. This is neither history nor archaeology, but straightforward deception, if it's really being presented as history, which in fact it is to children that won't know any better. Those who are paying for this must know very well that there's no evidence at all of any black African Vikings. But they know too that politically this is an idea whose time has come. Perhaps they're a bit jealous of those who are promoting the black Romans who are now cropping up all over the place, and think that the way to maintain the relevance of their own work is to stick a few black women in and hope for the best. It would of course be recalled that the Arts Council have recently cut the funding for the English National Opera, presumably because the words English national sound uncomfortably similar to English nationalist. They have no money to spare for opera, but when it comes to promoting fake history, they can't wait to hand out the cash. This business is part of a concerted effort to sabotage and destroy English history. It's a very fashionable trend, and white liberals can't wait to get on the bandwagon. Those writing books about this subject, or producing films or museum displays, are freed from the usual rules of being accurate and sticking to the facts, as we can see with the fairy tales produced by people like David Olusoga. I give a couple of links in the description to this video so that people can look at this in a little more detail.